in pharma and agriculture, procurement, supply chain, logistics. All of those opportunities are available in the construction-related industry. In fact, we have opportunities available across all of the business disciplines, across all of the skilled trades, and across what we call the licensed technical professions, for example, engineers, architects. But, I'll talk about that, and I'll go through some of those opportunities available when I talk to you today about the Integrating Newcomers program. So let me just move ahead on my slides, and I'll see if this is actually going to work for me. Perfect, it's working. So I am coming to you today from a city called Nanaimo on the west coast of Canada. It's actually on an island called Vancouver Island. Our service, though, is a pan-Canadian service. So no matter what city, province, or territory you're planning on landing in and moving to in Canada, we can assist you because we have the contacts right across the country. I'd like to introduce you to our team of construction specialists. We are immigrants, so we have that lived experience of what it's like lives and careers to Canada. And we also have many, many years experience in the HR, job development, career coaching, job hunting advisory sectors across a variety of professions, including the construction profession. So this is the team of people who will actually be working with you one if you register for our program. A number of different countries from Ireland. We have folks in the team from England, from Taiwan, from India. So we're coming from all over the world, and we've landed and settled in Canada. And we've also built our careers again in Canada. So we have that lived experience we can help you with. We are a free national pre-arrival service, and we're funded by Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada. So let me explain to you what we do and how we can help you. We know the industry and we understand your career potential. So what I mean by we know the industry is we have multi-industry HR recruitment experience. So we know where the jobs are and we can help you find those jobs relevant to your career goals, but also those jobs that are most realistic for you when you're transitioning into Canada from a career perspective for the first time. We also understand your career potential because we have that lived experience and because we have deep connections within the construction and construction-related industries. And I do often refer to construction-related industries because construction is typically perceived as that tools on a job site profession, and that's definitely a big part of it. But construction is supplied and supported by a number of different industries, whether it's manufacturing, whether it's mineral extraction, whether it's logistics, whether it's raw materials, whether it's technology. So we will always help you look at the opportunities available for you in any of those related industries. So it is a very broad reach. We're immigrants, we're career coaches, and we're construction professionals. So for example, I've worked hands-on the operations side of construction in 2 continents. So I've worked in Europe from a construction perspective. And in fact, I have a family background from a construction perspective too. And I've also worked in Canada from a construction and perspective as well. So we have the hands-on experience in the construction industry as well. What we provide you with, if you register for our program and if you're eligible, basically what you're going to get is a series of supports plus one-on-one career advice and coaching all the way up until you arrive in Canada and up to 1 month after you arrive in Canada. So you're already starting to build your career long before you ever fly and land in the country. We will provide you with an in-depth skills, education and credential assessment, one-on-one career coaching, including job hunting, insights into the construction culture in Canada. And it is a different culture, and we're going to show you how to shortcut the process to fit into the culture much, much faster. We'll show you how to network, and we're actually going to help you take those first steps in building your network in Canada. We'll also obviously provide you with all of those relevant live job leads, depending on your career goals, depending on the most realistic roles that you should be targeting as your first roles in Canada, and those job leads that are relevant to the sector, the area of specialization you're interested in your profession, and your landing location. And we will also help you with those employer connections and that peer-to-peer relationship building, which is incredibly important for you as a newcomer, especially when you're taking those first steps to build your career in Canada. We will also share and refer you on to other pre-arrival services that we know you can get some value out of, and post-arrival or settlement services that can continue to provide you with that employment, advice, and job connections, maybe 2, 3, 5, 6 months into you landing in Canada. Sorry, I'm just trying to move my slides. So we have broad perspectives, but focused insights. And what I mean by that is obviously we have that construction related focus. It's in our name, BC Construction Association, but we're industry impartial. And here's why. We support you whether you have an established background in the construction industry in your home country, or whether you've done your research and know that the construction related industries in Canada are high growth industries with high demand for skilled professionals and skilled tradespeople. So whether you have a background in construction or simply an interest in understanding how to transition your non-construction related career into the construction related industries in Canada, we can assist you. If we can't find relevant career paths in your landing location, we will broaden our supports by region and by industry. And we also believe that to support you in your transition to Canada, it's also vital to support your spouse or partner. So if you're immigrating with a spouse or partner, it doesn't matter what their industry experience is or their career experience is, we will also provide those exact same one-on-one supports to your spouse or to your partner to help them transition their career into their area of specialization and into the landing location that you're going to actually head to. We have considerable connections right across the country. So we are the BC Construction Association, or the British Columbia Construction Association. We actually operate on the west coast of Canada. However, we are part of the Canadian or the Construction Association, which means we have those in-depth relationships with construction associations right across the country. And that's where we add value to you, no matter what part of the country you will land in Canada. So we connect with all of the construction associations. And what that means is we have deep insights into local industry trends and into what's happening from a labor supply and job hunting and job availability perspective. And because we're connected to the construction associations across the country, we also then have those inferred employer connections to construction organizations who are hiring for folks. So we can connect you no matter where you're heading to in Canada. Some insider insights to the construction industry. So a lot of the times when I jump on these webinars, people have some more specific questions around, well, what's the industry like? What does it look like? You know, what are the characteristics? So I'm going to share these with you up front. The distribution of construction employment this year alone, here's what it looks like. If you look at the pie chart there on the left-hand side, 12% of people are employed in non-residential construction, specifically in maintenance type projects or organizations. 25% of folks are working in new housing related projects. 26% of folks are working in residential renovation and maintenance projects. 16% are working in industrial, commercial and institutional. We call it ICI. It's a subsector in the construction industry. And 21% are working in engineering, architecture, and those related professions. So there's a fantastic mix of subsectors within just the construction industry itself. And in all of those areas, the business professions are in demand. And I'll talk about that in a minute. It's a massive industry in Canada. It currently employs over 1 million of our population, which is 7% of the Canadian workforce. The industry is expected to be a $354 billion industry within the next 3 years. In the last 6 months, industry growth has brought us to a point where we're nearly at that same growth level as pre-pandemic. So the construction industry in Canada has really weathered the COVID storm. In fact, it was deemed an essential service very, very quickly, within April, May, June last year. And construction was operational and back on track during the summer months of last year in a number of provinces. So it really has weathered the COVID storm. And it's one question we often get asked. Employment in the construction-related industries is distributed across 3 different areas. So yes, of course, there's construction employment opportunities in what we call the skilled trades in Canada. There's definitely significant construction employment opportunities in the licensed technical professions. So engineers, architects, estimators, quantity surveyors, construction project managers, and also all of the strategic business occupations, whether you're in IT, HR, marketing, finance, some areas of law, health and safety. Some more insights into the construction industry. We have a large number of high-value public and private sector projects that have either started or are planned to start. And they're funded either federally or provincially. And that will allow us to sustain growth into the next decade in the industry. And on top of those infrastructure projects or those public and private sector projects, we also have high growth in residential construction in Canada. And that then is creating a lot of business growth opportunities. And that's where a lot of the labour shortage is being experienced across skilled trades, licensed technical professions, and the business specializations. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry, and there are multi-billion-dollar infrastructural investments planned in the next decade. So you've got everything from liquefied natural gas facilities being constructed or being renovated, nuclear plant refurbishments, public transit projects are happening, and there's a variety of healthcare and education projects also penciled in for construction. The 10-year workforce outlook for Canada is, believe it or not, we will have 259,000 people retire from the construction industry in the next decade. So that alone is going to create where the industry is doing everything it can to not only bring more people up through the education system in Canada to supply that labour shortage, but the industry is also looking at other industries in Canada where we can help people transition into the construction industries, so to bring their other skills into the industry. And the opportunity is significant for newcomers as a source and a solution for that labour shortage. So what I'll do now is I'm going to share some client success stories, because often this is the best way for you to understand the kind of value you can get from our free services. So bear with me as I introduce you to some of our clients. To protect the privacy of our clients, I'm not going to provide their full name. I'm just using one initial from their name. But E is a great example of someone who had a construction management background, but her interests were in teaching in the construction industry. So not your typical perception of what someone in the construction industry does, or a profession in the construction industry. But what we did was we worked with her to help her understand in Canada, there are many paths to teaching in Canada. So you can follow the private route of tutoring and training, or you can follow the public route of becoming a recognized and certified teacher, or teacher's assistant, or a lecturer. So we helped expand her understanding of roles both in corporate and academic settings. We provided her with live job leads from across the province so she could really understand any differences in the province she was heading to and where she might find employment more readily. And we also connected her with an industry mentor in a local university when she decided on the specific city she was heading to. So many months before she arrived in the country, she had all of this knowledge. She was beginning to take those very important action steps towards building her Canadian experience pre-arrival, building her professional network pre-arrival, and actually starting to talk about job opportunities pre-arrival. Another client I'll introduce you to, we'll refer to as B, and B was a refugee. So he had interrupted education, which meant he didn't have those usual documents that you would expect to have to support your job search. So not having your education certificates, not having your references from past employers. So there's different challenges for B as a client. But what we did was we broke it down for him. We conducted the skills, education, and credentials assessment based on the experience and education he had, but also based on where he really wanted to go long-term with his career in Canada. We worked with a translator to help understand his short-term earning needs and his long-term career goals. We provided resources to him pre-arrival so he could start to improve his English and start to get more comfortable in having conversations in English, which was going to be incredibly important for him, not only from a settlement perspective, but from a career building perspective. And we also then started to talk to him about his area of interest. So he was interested in the trades in Canada, but the skilled trades are quite numerous in Canada. So what we wanted to do quite quickly was help him focus on those top 2 or 3 skilled trades where he had an interest and also where he had some experience, because they were going to be the most realistic first roles in the short to medium term that he could really start taking steps towards. In terms of the skilled trades, we also worked with B, so he understood what I call the earn and learn approach to the trades. So following that apprenticeship route where you're working with an employer, you're getting paid, but you're being trained, you're being certified and released for education so that within anywhere from 3 to 4 years, you're a qualified journey person in that trade and you get your license, or we also call it a ticket in the construction industry. We also met with B soon after he arrived, and we developed a strategy so that he could look at part-time employment opportunities that were aligned with his skilled trades interests from a medium to long-term career perspective. M is an example of a client where he transitioned from the healthcare industry into the construction industry. And what we wanted to do was to show him what that transition path was going to look like for him and the actions he could take pre-arrival to help him prepare for that transition in the medium to long term. So his interests were in health and safety. His background was nursing and healthcare. He was also going to quite a regional area in Canada. So immediately we wanted to look at, who are the local employers? How do we help him make those connections? And out of those employers, who's actually hiring right now and who's hiring for his skill set? So we matched his skills and education to local industry needs. We did that by doing the skills, education, and credential assessment as the first step. Then we connected him with an employment liaison or a career advisor or career coach in our team, so that we could connect him directly with a recruiter 1 month pre-arrival. He was interviewed within a week of landing, employed as a care aide within a month. And we also helped him understand how he could have those conversations with his employer about his long-term career aspirations for occupational health and safety, and to move towards health and safety accreditation, which was going to be a significant stepping stone for him to move into the broader construction-related industry. The employer was impressed with not only his work ethic and his skills, but also his conversations with them. He was being transparent with them, and they've agreed to support him in that process of accreditation. So it's a lovely example of how we can help someone help themselves transition their career from one industry into the construction-related industry. And F is another client that I'll introduce you to. probably the more typical client that we see. So we see a lot of engineers, architects, technicians, technologists across all of the engineering disciplines. So whether it's a chemical engineer, a petroleum engineer, a building services engineer, mechanical, civil, structural engineer, we work with all of the engineering disciplines. F's area of interest were construction, a specific area of construction based on his telecommunications engineering background. And he was also interested in obtaining professional engineer status, or we call it a PEng license or credential in Canada. So we did that detailed skills education and credentials assessment. We advised him on engineering and that it was a regulated profession and what that was going to mean for him in terms of building his career in Canada and the options available to him in terms of licensing. We recommended he begin the credential or licensing process as soon as possible and prior to arriving in Canada so that he would have a much stronger head start when he would land in Canada. And we advised him on the licensing options. So he had assumed he only had one option, which is to acquire the professional engineer license. He actually had other licensing opportunities as a technician or an engineering technologist. And their licenses you can get much, much faster if you have a degree education in your home country and some industry experience. And we provided him with obviously those live job leads, which are all important to any of you pre-arrival. He was interviewing within weeks of landing. He was employed in his area of specialization within 3 months. And we also supported his wife transition into her target career. So this is a lovely example of how when we support the family unit transition lives and careers to Canada, you can actually find success as a family a lot quicker. So there's some client success stories that I thought I'd share with you. Hopefully you'll see yourself somewhere in that, but let me talk more about all of the professions that we can support in terms of transitioning into the construction-related industry. We understand your biggest challenges pre-arrival, and definitely as someone who's immigrated and someone who's transitioned their career to Canada, these were the big aha moments for me. I didn't really understand the nuances around the 3 biggest challenges I would face as a skilled professional coming to Canada. And the first was around career. So understanding career paths in Canada, because they're different. They're not the same as career paths in your home country. And I'm not talking about job titles. I'm talking about the most realistic roles you should be targeting as your first roles in Canada based on your education and experience. So we can help you break that down and help you take action on career paths. Credentials is another C that's incredibly important for you to understand pre-arrival and for you to build your career in Canada. So understanding if you're entering into a profession in Canada that's actually considered a licensed or regulated profession and what that will mean for you in terms of your realistic career options. Do you pursue a license? If you don't want to pursue a license, what other options are available to you? And the final C that we help you really understand from your own specific needs is the connection. So we help you take those first steps to build your connections in Canada. I was shocked actually at how connected business is in Canada. And so when you're job hunting, if you're not taking steps to build your industry connections pre-arrival, you do yourself a disservice because people who don't know you don't know what you know technically. And that's the importance of connections. So very, very important. And we can help you take actions on building those connections pre-arrival and also when you land in Canada. We will guide you with in-depth industry knowledge. So yes, we can talk to you about labour market and statistics, but very quickly we're going to get in and we're going to do a deep dive with you depending on your career goals, depending on your education and experience, depending also on the city you want to land in. That's where we really start to help you job hunt and to identify those most relevant career opportunities for you. In terms of the industry being a good target industry, Employment is expected to rise 6% between 2020 and 2030. The average age of the workforce is 42, which means, guess what? 22% of the workforce is also going to retire in the next 10 years. So not only is construction being heavily invested in as an industry, and therefore there's a demand for labor, it's also an industry that will experience attrition through retirements. So it's a fantastic industry to get into now because your career growth potential is significant. So we can help you do that and look at those opportunities. We're going to guide you with with in-depth career advice. It's a multidiscipline employer. So I often get asked, what are the real opportunities for me? I mean, I have a business background, or I've never actually used tools on a construction site in my life. Construction couldn't be the right industry for me. It is the right industry for you. I am a perfect example. I have worked over half my career on 2 continents in the construction industry, and I've never been paid to use tools on a job site. My background has always been in business and operations, and I've transitioned my career from Europe to Canada in construction-related industries. I've worked in thermal energy, I've worked in HVAC, I've worked in utilities in Ireland, and I have a family that's construction related too. So I can show you, and I'm a good example of how just having that business background is more than enough to establish yourself in the construction industry in Canada and to have a really good career. But of course, we also support you if you have a skilled trades background. So if you have industry experience as a tradesperson, carpenter, general laborer, electrician, mechanic, pipe fitter, whatever it is, even if it's in automobiles, we can help you understand those opportunities that are available to you in the skilled trades. And even if you want to consider skilled trades for the first time, we can help you understand the opportunities. We can help you job hunt, build those connections, and also connect you with employment-related programs that can actually support you financially in obtaining licensing. We also support all of the licensed technical professions. So whether you're an engineering technician, technologist of any discipline, whether it's IT, chemical engineering, all of the construction-related engineering professions like civil engineer, we can help you. If you're an architect, an estimator, surveyor, construction project manager, we call those licensed technical professions, and we can show you what you need to do to start building your career pre-arrival, and we'll help you take those first steps. And as I said, no matter what your business-related background, we can also show you those construction-related opportunities that are available to you depending on your career goal, depending on your home country experience, and also depending on the landing location that you want to arrive in. We're going to guide you with our in-depth credential insights, and I've alluded to this before. So just a quick fact, 20% of jobs in Canada are considered regulated, and they're regulated from a health and safety perspective. Engineering, architecture, quantity surveying, construction project management, technicians, technologists, health and safety, they're all licensed to some degree, and most of those are considered regulated professions. So you can't and shouldn't target that role title as your first job in Canada yet, unless you've started the licensing process. And we'll show you how to do that and what license is most relevant and most easily obtainable for you, depending on your career goals and your home country experience. We're going to guide you on making those key connections too. So before and after landing, there are many, many free supports now available to you as a newcomer to Canada. They certainly weren't there when I came to Canada in 2010. So I would say, if there's anything you can do, it's to make use of these free services, including ours. We will also get you connected with any relevant local pre-arrival or post-arrival, it's also called the Settlement Employment Service, that we feel is going to help you build your career success faster. We'll also connect you with your local employment services organisation. So, for example, if you're coming to BC, it's Work BC. You will get connected with a free service, job developers who are going to then further connect you with local employers who are hiring right now. Those services can only be accessed when you land in Canada, but we will connect you once you land. And we're also going to show you how to build your network from a professional perspective, from an industry perspective, so that you can start to take steps to build your, and I'm using my air quotes, Canadian experience pre-arrival. And you can build your Canadian experience pre-arrival, and you should. And we'll show you what that's going to look like for you, depending on your home country experience. Am I able to register? Well, you're probably asking that question. You can go straight to our website right now, bccassn.com/apply-to-in, and you'll see the criteria for eligibility. But let me go through it. Yes, you're eligible to register if you're still living outside of Canada. We are a designated and funded pre-arrival service. So if you've landed in Canada, unfortunately, we can't help you. You must still be living outside of Canada. Then the other thing we need you to do is to show proof of your immigration application status. And what that would look like is maybe you've received an email or a letter called a confirmation of permanent residency. Or maybe you've received an email or a letter from the government of Canada that's saying, okay, we're progressing your application. Now, please proceed and provide your medical your background check or your security or your criminal verification. We can accept any of those documents as your proof of immigration status. If you have, excuse me, if you've been approved as a Canadian permanent resident, and you've also been issued your single entry visa, we can take that as proof. If you go to the URL listed on this page, bccassn.com/apply-to-in, our registration form is there. So even if you have doubts, that's okay. Take 2 minutes, fill out the application form, and we will confirm. We will email you within 24 to 48 hours, and we will talk you through the process of what documents you need to provide. But on that page, there's also a hyperlink to show you the examples of what those documents look like. What will I get if I register? Very simply, it's a 5-step process. The first step is go to that URL I provided. Take 2 minutes, invest 2 minutes now in your career if you're coming to Canada. It will save you 2 months of work and 2 months of actions that may not be the most productive for you. Let us shortcut the process for you. So please apply and let us help you help yourself. The second step when you apply is we'll email you back and we'll confirm your eligibility. We'll also ask for your resume in English. The third step is we'll confirm your eligibility and we will send you a skills assessor. I'm currently doing all the skills assessments at the moment. I will take a very deep dive, a close look at your education, your experience, your career goals, and I will produce your own tailored report that will shortcut the process for you in terms of building your career. It will identify the top 3 roles you should be targeting based on your home country experience. It will identify if licensing is going to be important for your short-term, medium-term, long-term career. It will provide you with live job leads. It will connect you with relevant industry associations or networking opportunities in your target profession in the city that you're heading to. And that report is the starting point for your relationship with your career coach or your employment liaison specialist. And they are there to support you one-on-one, answer every question you have. We can do that either via email, we can do it via video chat, or we even use WhatsApp or other social media messaging. So that person was basically there as a career advisor, as an employment advisor for you every step of the way until 1 month after you land in Canada. And really, it's a fantastic one-on-one coaching service, and I'd really encourage you to avail of it if you feel this is relevant and if you feel we can offer you some value. What top tips can I offer you? So I'm often asked this, and this is the easiest way I can put this to you. have a look at these questions below. If you can't, with 100% confidence, answer these questions for yourself, that is a signal for yourself that you should be availing of pre-arrival services, okay? So there are free supports. First off, please access the free supports. They weren't available 10 years ago to the same extent, and they are available now based on the newcomer experience and newcomers saying, you know, it would have been better if we'd had more supports available to us pre-arrival. They're now available, so please register for them. It's important to educate yourself on the industry and how you specifically will fit into the industry. It's not an apples process, you know, your home country career or role title to your Canadian career and role title. It will look different for you depending on your career aspirations, depending on your home country experience, but also depending on the specific city or community you are planning on moving to. So you should be able to answer this question with 100% confidence. What and where are the roles for my skills and experience? If you can't answer that question with 100% confidence, please register for any pre-arrival service. They will help you answer that question. Ask yourself this question: are my qualifications valid for work in my field? Don't assume they're valid. You don't know that until someone can confirm that for you. And rather than you spending hours and hours researching it, register, take 2 minutes, register for a pre-arrival service, and you'll get that question answered for you very, very quickly. Ask yourself the question: how do I get my credentials recognized? And what I mean by credentials is my profession considered regulated in Canada or licensed? And if so, what does that mean for me? And what will that mean for me pre-arrival and post-arrival in terms of building my career? Ask yourself the question: what are the wages for my occupation and level of experience? And ask yourself the question: is this going to be different for me depending on the province or city or community I'm heading to? And there are differences. So the sooner you know where you want to head to in Canada, the more specific and focused you can get on your actual career building activities. So if you can't answer any of those questions with 100% confidence, or if you're curious about getting support and you'd like to have someone work with you one-on-one in that process, just reach out to us. It takes 2 minutes to apply and we'd be more than happy to help. And we can do all of this support with you pre-arrival. And it's so important you really begin to invest in your career and settlement pre-arrival. Don't wait until you land in Canada, because it feels very different once you land. You're in a different mindset and you've no money coming into your bank account. So pre-arrival is the time to actually explore these very important career questions. That's it from me. I'm very, very happy to answer any questions that you have, whether it's from a personal immigration experience perspective, or from a career advice perspective, or from a construction-related opportunities perspective. Our website and where you can apply is bccassn.com/apply-to-in. And I would just like to acknowledge that none of this would be available to you or possible without the funding and support from Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada. And the one thing I forgot to say, and I wanted to say at the beginning, was where I live, Nanaimo in BC, British Columbia, is on the traditional territories of the Snow-Nomas people. And I would like to acknowledge I'm very grateful for the lands that they have taken care of for thousands of years. This is the area where I live, work, and play, and I'm grateful. And that's it. So over to you for questions.
Okay. Thank you so much, Linda. It's fantastic. Shaw,
yes.
Do you have, we're going to be asking some questions and answers now. We
Okay.
also have a survey that we'd like to put up on the screen. So whenever we have time for that.
Okay.
Also, you can go ahead with your question.
Okay, Linda, there's a question that says, is the construction industry related to, well, sorry, is the elevator part related to construction industry? And are there any plans to recruit specialists for elevator I guess, elevator, escalator, I guess, installer or technician.
Yeah, that would be considered what we call one of the skilled trades. And there's over 400 skilled trades licensed in Canada. I think it's something like 55 are considered nationally recognized. They're called Red Seal trades. But elevator technician is one of them. And can we help you transition to Canada? Yes, absolutely. You can register for our program. I did just to give a quick recap. So I was looking at the, some of what was popping up in my chat as I was speaking. And yes, we can support you if you have a customer service background, education, I saw background, yes, agriculture, yes, skilled trades, electrical engineer, auditor, accountant, purchaser. I saw an optometrist who's interested in transitioning into health and safety, yes. Banking, financial services, everything. Yeah, we can show you how to transition into the industry, and then it's up to you to determine what steps you would like to take based on the information that we're going to give you.
Okay, good. There's another one that he's listing his IELTS. Like, is the minimum IELTS scored or is WES certification required?
Okay, so two different things. So the IELTS score, or the English language benchmark, we don't have a minimum requirement for our program, for participation in our program. So we can take you on as long as you're okay with reading the information we're sending you in email. And if you need to use Google Translate to understand what we're saying, I encourage you to do that. So we don't have a minimum language level, English language level. WES is an education evaluation service. If you have your education evaluated, most of you, if you're far enough along the immigration application process, would have to submit some kind of education evaluation. That's great, we can take it, but we don't insist on it. Where it will become very important for you is if you choose to pursue perhaps a license in a regulated profession. It's one of the first things that provincial regulatory authority will look for, is some kind of validation of the Canadian equivalency. So we don't need it. It's great if you have it, but you will need it if you're going to pursue any licensing for a regulated profession.
Okay, perfect. I just want to remind everyone, please take 30 seconds or 30 to 45 seconds to complete this, the feedback, the survey. Your feedback is extremely important to us. I mean, one of the reasons why we invited BCCA is because of the feedback that you gave it to us during the RVCE 10 on October 5th and 6th. And also, we're always looking for ways to improve. We want to present information that are relevant to you so that you can fulfill your dream to yourself and your family by moving to Canada. Okay, now next question is going to be for Caitlin. There's a lot of questions about opportunities in New Brunswick. So Caitlin, you want to let people know about the upcoming exciting event with New Brunswick?
So there's two things. First of all, I happen to know that Linda does work in New Brunswick. So with construction careers, there are opportunities there. If you have more specific questions about immigrating to New Brunswick, we do have people coming next week for immigration specific experts. Those are people who are not pre-arrival candidates. They'll be here next Thursday. But if you are interested in moving to New Brunswick, Linda, maybe you can also provide some answers on maybe some specifics about that province.
Yeah, sure. So, and you're right. So we support you no matter what province, territory, or city you're going to in Canada. When I was an employment liaison specialist in the program, so that's when I did the career coaching one-on-one, my region I was responsible for was Atlantic Canada and Ontario. New Brunswick fits into that. So yes, personally, I do have connections in New Brunswick, and we can show you how to transition your career depending on your career goals and your home country experience to New Brunswick. And we can also, like for any province, anyone heading to any other province or territory, we can connect you with settlement and employment services and live job leads and employers in New Brunswick, plus any other region that you're heading to.
Perfect. Now, this question I'm gonna take Caitlin and Linda. This is coming from someone who is optometrist in in his or her home country and interested in his health and safety occupation, what is the first step to take? Now, I want to share some personal experience, because I do know is, as you, most of you, whether you know or you don't know, is I've been in this industry for over a decade, and I have worked with people, surgeons, top pediatricians, top lawyers, all sorts. Okay. Now, if you are an optometrist, I would strongly suggest you that if you plan to continue that career in Canada, is please go to Optometrist Canada's website and see what are the steps and procedures that you need to do. However, construction industry also can use your help, and I'll tell you why. I had a client, this is about 9 years ago, who was a medical doctor. Well, you know, it's hard to become a doctor here in Canada, especially when you're educated abroad. So there was an opportunity. He took these lessons on how to drive heavy equipment truck. Well, guess what? He's making $120,000 a year driving this heavy equipment. Listen, if I have the ability, I'm doing that right now. I would do that right now. So honestly, there's so many opportunities in Canada, and Canadians are extremely easy-going people. They would never say, "Oh, you used to be a doctor, you're driving a truck now." Trust me, nobody would do that. Well, right, Linda?
It's so true. I mean, honestly, we're a country of immigrants, you know, aside obviously from the First Peoples, the Aboriginal peoples in Canada, everybody else to Canada is what we could call a settler. So we've all transitioned our careers to Canada, and for a lot of people that isn't this. It doesn't look the same when you come to Canada. So look at everything that's possible for you, and then make your decisions accordingly. If you want to pursue that career in optometry specifically, you want to get in touch with the Federation of Optometric Regulatory Authorities of Canada, FORAC. And there's a section there. If you're internationally educated, you will see quite quickly what will be required of you. If you want to look at health and safety, so how to transition into health and safety, my advice to you is look for the least expensive health and safety certificate or course that you can do, and usually Build Force Canada or the Construction Association of the province you're heading to does education and training, and you can avail of that online. You could get that basic certificate, and then you could begin to look for health and safety coordinator or administrator roles. You would have to be clever about how you write your resume or CV and apply for jobs and explain your story and why you want to transition. But is that opportunity available to you? Definitely. And as Shaw says, you can also look for those other opportunities that you possibly didn't think of prior to this, in terms of trades that you could get into in the construction industry. And the trades are licensed professions in the construction industry in Canada, and therefore they pay extremely well. If I could rewrite my career, I would have trained in a trade when I landed in Canada, because the money is great and the career progression is excellent.
That's what a lot of people my age who went to university and got their masters, they were all saying the same thing. They're saying, if I could go back, I would have just done a trade right out of high school.
Yeah. And the beauty of the skilled trades in Canada is they follow an apprenticeship route. So it's typically a 4-year process. But what that process looks like is what I call the earn and learn approach. So you look for a job where you're an assistant or a helper in that trade, and that's where you start your career. So you will start extremely junior in your career in the first year, but what you've got is an employer who's willing to sponsor you. And what that means is the employer is willing to train you in the trade and release you once a year for 6 weeks of training and certification. And then you do that for 4 years. And by the end of that 4-year process, you've earned and learned. You've also got your ticket or your journey person designation or license in that trade. And what you can earn once you've got that journey person status is significant, and it's high demand. So it's really, yeah, Caitlin, I agree. It's a definitely something to consider if you think you could like working with your hands. There's really significant opportunities in the trades in Canada. And there is a skilled trades shortage. There aren't enough people currently in Canada to fill all of the positions. And there also aren't enough people coming up through the Canadian education system in the trades to fill all of the positions. So it's a great opportunity to look at doing something completely different.
Absolutely.
Okay. Wow, cool. You know, Caitlin, there's a lot of people that have like accounting background and they're looking to continue their career in accounting. You want to talk about the upcoming training class?
Yeah, I just added a slide, and this kind of goes hand in hand with what Linda is talking about, because we offer kind of a reskilling or upskilling. Oh, here it is. And it's an accounting upskilling, reskilling program. A lot of people choose to do this. We basically give them all the skills they need to work in the accounting industry, whether that's what you did in your home country, because the taxation rules in Canada are very different, or whether that's not what you did. I'm sure they could use, construction sites have accountants. They have payroll.
Yes, definitely.
so this is definitely
oh my God.
They got a lot, eh?
Yeah.
So it's something that we offer at G-TAC. It kind of helps people jumpstart their career, whether they're inside of Canada or outside of Canada. We offer courses for you guys. It's the same course for everyone. It just teaches you, the Canadian taxation laws. You also get a QuickBooks account. You get a license for, I believe, QuickBooks. And we train you on all that. The whole course is about 75 hours. And it's 6 modules. So they're all listed there. Goes hand in hand. A lot of people in the accounting background want to come to Canada. You can't just come from your country because there's a lot of taxation here and it's very different, I'm sure, so this is something fantastic. If anyone's in, we'll definitely refer them to Linda afterwards if they're looking to transition to Canada. And that we could go back to the Q&A, but I guess there were a lot of questions about accounting.
Yeah, and this course is offered online, right?
I just added that in, actually. Yeah, most things now are virtual. The consulting that BCCA does is virtual as well. Yeah. Our training is now virtual. I guess there's some benefits to the pandemic. We were able to kind of shift and adjust and not just offer it to people who were in Canada, but people who are coming to Canada. So it's great.
Okay. There's a lot of questions. Maybe Linda, you can help. They're saying that by watching this, would this be considered as a connection to New Brunswick when filling EOI? I'm not sure what that means, but there's another one that's similar for the express entry. Is attending these workshops be considered as a connection to New Brunswick?
I don't know. EOI, is it expression of interest or something for supporting a provincial immigration application?
Yes.
I'm not sure. I guess you'd have to look at the website where you decided to apply, maybe it lists criteria as to what works as credit for you.
Yes.
But from my perspective, I'm not sure. Yeah.
Well, on that end, I have great news to share with all our viewers because it took us a while. Finally, we were able to get a professional, an industry-known professional immigration consultant company that will do a presentation on Thursday, December the 9th at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. I repeat, Thursday, December the 9th, 2021 at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. You do not want to miss this workshop because they will tell you anything and everything that you want to know about immigrating to Canada, what kind of form, what would you need. So please stay tuned for that one. The schedule to register will be coming out towards the end of November. So as soon as there is a limit on registering number, however, if you could not register, as you can see, as of today, starting today, our broadcasts are broadcast live simultaneously on YouTube. Okay, So just remember December the 9th on for the immigration consulting. Now, there's another one, talk about an architect, someone that was that's an architect that wants to about opportunities to come to Canada. You want to take you want to try that, Linda?
Absolutely, yeah. So definitely we support architects. In fact, I think I've worked on 2 clients in the last week, their skills assessments where they had an architecture background. So we will show you, connect you with employers via live job leads in the region that you're heading to. We will talk to you about licensing. It is a regulated profession and it's mandatorily regulated, which is similar for engineering as well. So we'll talk to you about the options available to you. We'll also clarify the role titles, those top 3 roles you should be targeting in Canada as your first roles based on your home country experience, education, and whether you had licensing. But to share an insight, the kind of role titles you should be looking for are architectural technician, architectural technologist, a draftsperson role, or you can look for project coordinator roles, which are more project administration. They're great starting or transition roles for someone who has an architectural background. In terms of the licensing process, it can take, I think you have to accumulate 3,000 hours in order to earn the registered architect license. So let us take a look at your specific experience and we'll guide you on your short-term, medium-term and long-term career opportunities.
Okay, and what about geological engineer?
Yes, absolutely. So we support geological engineers as well. We'll help you look at the career opportunities. We'll help you look at what are the employers in the region you're heading to in that field, and are the opportunities relevant for you? And then we'll also help you if we need to, we'll help you broaden your search to look at related roles or related industries so that you have the best intelligence in front of you and you can start to make decisions and develop some focus in your career building activities. And we'll do all of that with you pre-arrival. And that's the one thing I really want to stress is please invest in your transition to Canada now while you're still in your home country. It's what everybody says, me included. By the time you land in Canada, you're in a different mindset. It's often a scarcity mindset where your money is going out of your bank account because you're not employed. So the time to invest and make smart long-term decisions is pre-arrival. So please do it pre-arrival. And that's why I encourage anybody who's listening, if you're interested, if anything has resonated with you in the webinar today, please register. I've seen a few people put their email addresses in. I would ask you to register directly on the website, please.
So Linda, would you mind sharing in the chat what the website is so that they can register? I know it was on the presentation, but it might help them having it in the chat. And then also if there's anywhere they can reach you afterwards, by email or...
Okay, so we don't give out our emails just because of the sheer volume of inquiries that we receive. But I am on LinkedIn. So if you look for Linda Ryan, BC Construction Association, feel free to send me a connection request. We also have a closed LinkedIn group for our clients, and that's where we share job leads every day from across the country. So all of the team are posting information on that closed group, but that's reserved for those who are eligible for our program. But please feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. But if you are interested, I've shared the link, I'll share it again. That's the link you should use to register today. 2 minutes now will actually save you 2 months of work. based on the informed and kind of focused insights we can share with you once you're part of the program.
Okay, Linda, you need to select to everyone, not just to the host and the panelists.
Oh, my apologies. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh.
I do that all the time.
We do that
there
all
you
the
go.
time, yeah.
I want to just take a little time to thank Linda. We super appreciate your services. We know that a lot of people who are coming to Canada really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions that are left after this and you don't have the contact information, we have our email info@g-tac.ca, and we can filter through those and send them to Linda if we see some questions that are really seem to stick, and we'd like you to have that information. Also, we have a few great events coming up. Next week, we have Opportunities New Brunswick. They're going to be talking about opportunities within the province of New Brunswick. And that's going to be the same time next Thursday. Actually, no, it's going to be November 16th at 9 a.m. So it's not going to be a Thursday next week. But you can register on our website at g-tac.ca in the upcoming event section. Later this month, we also have Ericsson joining us about opportunities at Ericsson Canada. And in December, we have, what was that organization?
We do have that's right, on December the 9th. And on November the 18th is next Thursday, which is my workshop I'll host, is Desjardins Financial Group will be doing presentation. So anyone that's interested in the banking, financial career, or even IT career, because for those of you who doesn't know, financial companies in Canada are probably one of the largest IT employers now. Yeah, RBC, Royal Bank of Canada, is actually the largest IT employer in Canada. Unbelievable.
A lot of tech in banking.
Yeah, so we have a lot of exciting events coming up, but I also want to use this opportunity to remind everyone is that today is our Remembrance Day in Canada. We want to take at 11 o'clock Eastern time, we will take a minute to show our respect to men and women that may sacrifice to shape the life that we have today here in Canada. So if you are in Canada, please take that 1 minute respect, silent, and then this will mean a lot to all the people that men and women that sacrifice their life for our country here.
Thank you.
Okay, Caitlin, you want to let oh my God, it's 10:06 here. There's still a lot of questions, eh?
I think we'll have to cut it there because I know that it is 7 a.m. In Nanaimo, BC, where Linda is, and I believe she has some personal stuff to attend to this morning.
If you want, I can do 2 more questions. So
okay,
yeah, if
perfect.
That works for you guys.
That's great.
Okay, before you go to the questions, I just want to say there's a lot of sharp viewers here because, Caitlin, you kind of just unintentionally reveal Linda's location there, because I can tell you right now, while we were doing this, some caller was calling me, okay? And then also there's some people already sent their LinkedIn requests to trying to connect with me. So we have a lot of sharp viewers here that's watching this show today. There's another question I want to ask Linda is that people talk about supply chain. I mean, is this something that the construction industry could use? Someone that's an expert in supply chain management?
Yeah, definitely. I've just done 2 skills assessments in the last 10 days, and they're both actually, one was logistics. I've done another one from a procurement perspective, lots of supply chain experience, but absolutely, I mean, the construction industry can be made or broken based on its supply chain and whether the materials can get to site on time. So definitely there are significant opportunities, and we can help you make the connections and understand the opportunities for the specific community that you're heading to.
Okay, and obviously construction industry also includes all the building the oil field, those cranes, those are all part of construction, right?
Oh yes, absolutely. And that's why I always say construction related industries, and it's to broaden the perspective that it's energy, it's utilities, it's mineral extraction, it's logistics, it's all of the business support professions, and of course engineers, architects, and all of the skilled trades. I mean, that the engineering, architecture, and skilled trades is our bread and butter, but we're seeing more and more professionals coming from business backgrounds and coming from non-construction industries in their home country. And we're showing them how to transition into great career opportunities in construction related industries here.
Okay, perfect. So Caitlin, back to you.
That's all I had for today. A lot of the questions were very similar. They're quite repetitive about their specific industry or from their specific country. So if you guys have any outline questions, again, we have left all the contact information in the chat, and we appreciate you being here. Linda, we'll see you next month. I know you have another one coming up. So if there's anything that you didn't get answered today, you can always come back. It's going to be on December 16th. Is that right?
Yeah.
Whew. December 16th, we're having Linda back. We're going to have another presentation. So again, if there was something that you thought of between now and then, please join back and we'll be sharing more information then.
Fantastic. Absolute pleasure and lovely to see you again, Caitlin and Shaw. And thank you everybody for joining.
Bye. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.